We want to stretch ourselves and be inspired by the dream. And 3 years gives you time to figure out how to get there and then work toward it. Well, hey there. Thanks so much for joining me here at Quiet Wealth. I'm your host, Camilla, and this is episode 102, How to Create a Vivid Vision for Your Life. Now, you're going to get the most out of this episode by actually sitting quietly at your kitchen table, maybe with your dog nearby to pet his soft fur, close to a window where you can stare into nature and possibly have some soft music in the background. Because I'm going to tell you that right now you are 3 years away from accomplishing your big, crazy dream. Now, you may not believe me, but it's true. So I really want you to trust the process of what I'm going to share today. And I promise you can get there. So today I'm taking my thoughts from an incredible book called Vivid Vision by Cameron Herold. Now, this book was written for CEOs and business owners to transform their business, but I want to help you apply it to you as an individual to really transform your life. So I want you to picture this. Your last child has left the house and you're an empty nester. You have raised them to be incredible, independent human beings and are fiercely proud of them as they embark on their adulthood. You know who you are, you have wisdom, you have friends who know and love you, and you are perfectly set to explode into this new chapter of your life. There's only one problem. You don't know what you want to do right now. There's a lot of options. I mean, once life becomes more about you instead of your children, there's a lot of different things you could do. I mean, you could continue in your career. You could grow and try and grow up the ladder even more. You could start a side hustle. You could start a garden. You could raise mini farm animals. That's what I like to do. You could write a book. I mean, the options are endless. And so what do? Nothing. Because you're like, I'll figure it out later. Let's try this instead. I want you to imagine something you want, but maybe you don't have. So let's say it's your dream house, and I want you to pretend that you have it now. Together, we're going to jump in your car. I'm going to sit in the passenger seat, and I'm going to have you drive me to your dream house. I'm so excited to see it. So as we drive up to it, what do you see? Are there beautiful green trees, flowers lining the sidewalk? Is there a white picket fence? Or maybe there's a long circular driveway. So we hop out of the car and I'm just amazed at the beauty of the exterior of your home. Now let's approach the front door. What color is it? Is it red and bold or a fun sassy teal color? Or maybe it's a beautiful hardwood. Let's touch it together and feel the smoothness of that wood. And then let's open the door. What does the entryway look like? Is it grand and spacious? Or is it cute and intimate? What does it smell like? What kind of floors are we walking on? Did you hire a designer so it's beautifully designed? Or is the house filled with nostalgic furniture? Is there a wall of windows flooding the house with natural light? And can you smell the fresh bread baking in the oven? That's a pretty clear vision, right? And this, my friend, is what you need for your life. We're going to help you create a 3-dimensional world that you can step into and explore. And it's this world that you can share with your friends and family, and it creates the roadmap so you can figure out how to get to your big dream. Remember the old adage that a picture is worth 1,000 words? Well, what if the picture could move, like in Harry Potter? What if the picture becomes a movie scene that you're watching on television? What if the picture becomes something you can actually step into and experience? So when we take the picture and we put it into motion and actually step into it, we suddenly have hundreds of thousands of words to describe it. Have you seen the movie The Sound of Music? There's an iconic scene where Julie Andrews is standing on a mountaintop and she's twirling in her simple black and white dress and singing, "The hills are alive with the sound of music." If you've watched this scene, you can probably visualize it along with me, shot for shot. And you might even burst out in song. But if you've never seen it, you actually might imagine something very different, even though I gave a pretty good description. So this is how vividly you need to think about your vision for your life. So let's dive in. Let's create a 3-year vision for your life. Why 3 years? Why not 1 or 5 or 10 or 20? The reality is, if you venture too far into the future, it's hard to create a vision. You don't know what will change in your life. I mean, who knows what the world will look like in 10 years? We might be wearing masks again. I don't know. But 1 or 2 years is not enough time for a big goal to fully form. 1 or 2 years, those are timeframes for small goals. But we are going to set big goals. We want to stretch ourselves and be inspired by the dream. And 3 years gives you time to figure out how to get there and then work toward it. So now let's actually write your vivid vision. And I'm going to encourage you to do it somewhere different. This video and podcast that I'm making, you can listen to it all the way through, but it would be actually most beneficial and helpful if you listen to it in a different place where you can pause and you can go through the exercise. The first step is to free your mind from any day-to-day worries. Go somewhere inspiring. When I write my vision, I like to go to my cabin in the woods. I can think more clearly and creatively when I'm out in nature. Definitely get out of your house, because there's something about a house that keeps reminding your brain that, oh, you got chores to do. Oh, the laundry's going. Oh, there's dishes. Oh, you got to feed the dog. I mean, I cannot walk anywhere in my house without my house reminding me I got to do something. Leave your house so you can have an inspiring, peaceful place. As you begin this exercise, I want you to let go of any hows. Sometimes when we try to set big goals for ourselves, our brain automatically goes to, but how do I do it? And it tries to figure it out. You can't allow your brain to go there. Just like in our dream home example, your job is to dream about what the home will look like. The architects, the construction workers, they will figure out how to make it look like your vision. You don't have to do that. Let your mind wander. What do you want your life to look like in 3 years? Sometimes that's a little bit hard to think about, so let's make it a little bit more helpful to think about it in categories. So here's a couple of categories that you could think about your life in 3 years. Category number 1 could be relationships. These can be with a spouse, your grown children, your friends, your colleagues. I saw someone the other day who was putting together a program that was like how to have the best relationship you've ever had with your spouse, even if you've been married for 20 years. Maybe you want that. Me and my spouse, we are celebrating our 25th anniversary soon, and I would love for our relationship just to continue to deepen and be the most amazing that it's ever been. Another category you could think about is experiences. For me, I want the ability to take my family on a cruise every other year. Now, we've been on several Caribbean cruises, but I want to expand that. I want to go to Alaska. I want to do a Hawaii cruise, European. I would love for those to be experiences that we have in our life. Another category could be money. So maybe you currently have a net worth of $1 million and you want to be at 5 million in 3 years. I bet your brain just kvetched and immediately started coming up with reasons why that's impossible. but is it really? Another category, business. Maybe you've always wanted to have your own business. Or you are a current business owner and you want to expand and scale your business. In 3 years, could you launch a new business and generate 6 figures in revenue? Absolutely. Or could you double your revenue in your current business? Again, absolutely. I want to give a quick shout out to my podcast manager, Abby. If you're in need of help in launching and managing your own show, please reach out to her at productions@abbygwaki.com. I'll put her details in the show notes. She really is the best, and I love her. What about health? Could you be in the best shape of your life in 3 years? My brain immediately says that's impossible because 10 years ago, when I was 34, I did a half Ironman triathlon. That's when I was in the best shape of my life. Could I be in better shape than that 3 years from now when I'll be 47? I don't know. It feels really hard. But you know what? It's doable. It is doable. And another category, possessions. What are some things you want that you don't currently have? So I met a woman who put owning a private jet on her vision. Does that seem crazy? Guess what? That's what we are here for. So let's make this practical, all right? Each of these categories, you're going to spend 3 to 5 minutes closing your eyes and visualizing. Just for fun, let's take the craziest one on there, the jet example. Say you want a private jet. So you're going to close your eyes and you're going to imagine what that jet looks like. Is it white, like most jets? Or maybe you want a blue one or a red one or yellow. How many people does it fit inside? Is it just a small one for 5 people? Or maybe 15 or 20? For me, I think 20 would be a good number. That way I can take my entire family and some friends with us on the jet. What would you use it for? Will it support your new speaking business, taking you to speaking engagements all over the world? Or will it be for pleasure, taking you on vacations once a month? Will it be an investment where you use it occasionally, but then rent it out to others to pay for itself so you actually make money on it? What kind of food and drinks will you serve on your jet? I mean, what kind of hostess will you be? It's not going to be the little baby snacks, I can tell you that much, right? Like, I want a charcuterie board on my jet. And then I want you to watch your family's faces when they board the jet for the first time. Is there wonder and awe? Now, open your eyes and you're going to write down as much of the vision that you can remember. And remember to include your senses and feelings. What does it look like? What do you hear when you get on that jet? What do you smell when you get on the jet? What do you touch? What does it feel like? What kind of feelings is it giving you? Because it needs to be a vivid vision. Now, after you've completed this exercise with every category, the next step is to organize and write it down. And I actually like to include pictures with my vision. So if I wanted a jet, I don't really want a jet, but if I did want one, I would go online and find a picture of the one I liked and then print it out, glue it in my notebook along with my written version. And then you can take things one step further and create a vision board that's a visual representation of your big goals and dreams that you can look at every day. And then hang that up in your office or in your bathroom. Depends on who you want to see it. And finally, speaking of seeing it, you need to share your vision with 3 to 5 trusted friends. I get it. Telling someone you want a jet is going to feel very uncomfortable, but it depends on who you tell. Right now, I can think of 5 people that if I told them I had owning a private jet on my vision board, they would absolutely cheer for me. These are the kinds of people you need in your life. Now let's talk about how to make this vision actually come true. Remember, I said, don't worry about the how. We're just going to get the vision out there. Well, at some point you have to worry about the how. But if you've gone through this exercise and you've written down crazy things like double my net worth in 3 years, you're going to get overwhelmed and think, how in the heck am I going to do that? How do I even get started? Don't worry, my friend. Every big goal is tackled one day and one step at a time. So let's use the concept of reverse engineering to help ourselves out. So we're going to start at the end, which is double our net worth. And then we're going to work backwards from this end point to where we are now, capturing the steps along the way. So a good example of this is maybe you're planning your Thanksgiving dinner, right? You know what time you want to eat. And if you want all the dishes to be hot and ready at the same time, you're going to have to cook them in a certain order because not every dish takes the same amount of time to cook. So if your Thanksgiving meal, the pies, we bake those the day before, or maybe even a couple days before and freeze them. The turkey has to be in the oven and the longest. But you also have rolls you want to bake. So how do you do that? Well, the turkey needs to sit for 30 minutes before you carve it. So maybe that 30-minute window can be when you cook the rolls. So when you work backwards, you know the rolls take 20 minutes to bake, 30 to 45 minutes to rise after you shape them. Takes 15 minutes to roll them out and shape them. It takes 60 minutes for them to rise the first time and probably about 20 minutes to actually mix the dough. So working backwards, if you want to eat your turkey dinner at 4 p.m., you need to start the rolls at 1:30 p.m. Now, let's go back to our example of doubling your net worth. So today, you're starting at 1 million and you want to double that to 2 million. Well, there's actually many ways you can get there. You can invest in higher risk, higher reward assets because again, doubling 1 million, like making $1 million in 3 years, you're going to have to invest in something that's higher risk. You can't like just put it in a CD and hope it doubles in 3 years. That's not going to work. You've got to go after the higher risk alternative assets. Another thing you can do is increase your income. You can launch that business. You can become a speaker. You can do all sorts of things to increase your income. Third thing, decrease your expenses. Remember, it's about how much you keep. And so net worth is how much you have left over after all the debts are paid. So if you decrease those expenses, pay off debts, things like that, your net worth increases. Another thing you can do is actively invest in real estate. You could buy a business. You could invent a software. You could write a best-selling book. So once you decide on a method to get to doubling your net worth, then you're going to work backwards, just like your Thanksgiving dinner, to be able to achieve the goal. So let's go with the example of writing a best-selling book. Think about at the end. If you want to be able to sell those books and make $1 million, so let's do some math, right? So maybe your book will sell for $21 and you get about half that amount in profit, so $11.50 a book. So if you do the math, you're going to need to sell about 87,000 books. That's a lot. Is it doable? Yes. But remember, your goal is not to sell 87,000 books. Your goal is to double your net worth. If we work backwards here to sell 87,000 books, that means the last 6 months when the book is getting published, you're going to have to do a pretty big marketing blitz. You need to guest on podcasts. You need to get on TV. You need to market the heck out of it. That would occur during year 3. That means we back up year 2, we'll need to be focused on writing and editing the book. And that means year 1 will be focused on solidifying your idea for the book and researching and networking with other people. The goal is to double the net worth and think about what can you do along the way to increase your net worth, because you don't want to rely just on one book. Like one book is probably not going to make you $1 million. It's doable, yes. Probable, no. But maybe you could launch a book writing paid mastermind group and get a bunch of people who also want to sell 87,000 books together and share ideas. Maybe you could speak about your topic for a fee, become a paid speaker along the way. Maybe you could get a book deal from a publisher who will actually pay you to write the book. So the vision here is really important. And in closing, I want to quote Cameron Herold from the book. So he says, by using the vivid vision, you will find that your friends will want to spend more time with you because you're becoming a better person. You'll attract new people into your life, people who will be motivated to help you, who are inspired by you, and who are excited to be around you. And because of all those positive relationships, you'll feel better. Simply waking up every day and working hard or busying yourself is not necessarily going to be the most effective path or give you the best results. So by using the vivid vision, you're going to have better success. You're going to have better luck. You're going to have more fun. And you'll have everyone conspiring to help you. And then it's a lot easier to get the result you want when you know what that result is. So, my friend, if you need some help with your vivid vision, we have created a downloadable worksheet for you to be able to work through this and write it down. I will post a link to that in the show notes on how to get that downloadable worksheet. And it's just going to help you. And then if you'll do me a favor, when this episode comes out, I would love to hear your big crazy dream. I want to know, because I want to be the one that's cheering for you. I want to be one of the 3 to 5 friends that you feel comfortable sharing your big goal with, because I can guarantee you I'm going to cheer for you and I'm going to be excited to hear these huge goals that are coming. And I'm going to be so impressed that you're thinking even bigger than I am, because you got this. You can do it. Life is transitioning right now, and it is the perfect time to create a new vision for your life. Thanks so much, my friend. Please share this episode with someone you know and love. After all, we need to share the education so we can share the wealth. Thanks so much. Bye for now.